Hello. How's everyone doing today? It's Friday. Yeah. Live on a Friday, and we're doing some streaming. Woo! How's everyone doing? It's March. Time flies when you're having fun. We're already in March. We're already in March. Happy 1 year. Technically that was Tuesday, and we're gonna pretend it's tomorrow. So yeah. So for those that don't know, March 1st was technically when I became a full-time YouTuber, and I was gonna do just like a hangout stream today to kind of celebrate it, but then I realized, like, you know, it's the middle of the day, and since it's like, you know, 1 year since YouTube, I want to have a celebratory drink, and it's still a little early. So we're gonna do it tomorrow. So tomorrow's stream is gonna be a 1 year on YouTube and chill stream. Nothing big plan. We're just gonna hang out and have some fun, print something or something. I don't know. That's kind of what we do here. So today, though, we're going back to something that I haven't done in a while. We're doing some resin today. So my resin corner has been a little sad for a while. It kind of needs a cleanup. It's a bit of a mess right now over there. So we don't really look at that too often. So I haven't done a lot of resin printing lately. I kind of want to get back into it because I'm trying to do some more props and cosplay stuff and what cosplay, cosplay. Yeah. Oh, Andrew Rogers, $10. Cheers for the celebratory drinks fund. I already hit up the lick bow today, so we're good. And PXN America, 1 gifted membership. Cheers. So the machines over there aren't too bad, but Anycubic reached out and they're like, hey, we have a new machine. I think it's a new machine. I don't know. It's new to me. Do you want to take a look at it? You know what? Yeah, let's do that. So we have right here the Anycubic Photon Mono X2. I kept calling it 2K. No, I already have a 2K. This is an X2. So link in the description. Hopefully I put it in there. I did. So if you want to know more about it, link in the description. I should probably open up that. Fair Frozen, 55, $5. Cheers. Mark III with Revo, driving me mad. Keeps crashing on print when printing. ABS crashes out of print. Like, are you hitting the print? In that case, you're warping. Is your print warping? Is that what it's doing? I know the Prusas are having something with the Revos and Prusa is a thing. I don't know if it's like not fully supported or something, but what? There's something going on there. Any updates on getting the room 180? What do you mean getting the room 180? What do you mean getting the room 180? But yeah, if you're actually colliding with it, your print's warping, so you're gonna have to do the fixes to prevent your print from warping. So this is the printer. So they sent the printer to me. No contract. They're not paying me. Words and opinions are my own. Obviously, this is live, so we get to say what we want. It's on sale right now, it looks like. So that's cool. So pay extra $20 off when you order with PayPal. Ooh, cool. So they also sent me 2 kilograms of resin. They wanted to send me the clear resin, but I guess they can't in Canada, so I got the ABS-like resin. PID tuning doesn't work. How does PID tuning? What the heck, Prusa? Come on, make it work. It's not hard. Not rocket appliances. So this is our resin printer that we're going to be unboxing. So I've always kind of been a fan of the Anycubics, although to be fair, I've only had one of them. It was the first resin I ever had, and it worked pretty good. The only other resin I've used is the Nova Whale 2, which is, it's kind of gotten a little finicky on me, so I haven't used it too much since like the summer. But the Anycubics are kind of like the good entry-level printer for those that get into resin. And this one, it's 4K, 9-inch screen. There's your volume is right about, where is it? Printed dimensions. There we go. 200 by 200 by 120, roughly. So it's a decent size. It's a decent size. Thermal runaway. Wow, that's weird. So I've already unboxed it. Unfortunately, if you see the thumbnail, there's like a little smiley face. That's the lid. I think I threw that out when I threw the box out because I'm trying to make it a point to like not hoard boxes like I used to. So it's flat with glue sticking well. It tries printing the outer layer and then decides I crashed. Somehow it doesn't do it on PLA. I'm not too sure. I've never used a Revo. Was it doing it without a Revo? Make sure your nozzle's screwed in all the way. How does this differ from different resin printers? So here's the thing with resin. The printers are... Now, I don't do a lot of resin printing. I'm mostly FDM, okay? Resin is something, in my opinion, you get into because you need to, okay? If you're a hobbyist that does, you know, you need super fine detail. If resin does certain things really good. So, for example, let me grab a few resin prints here. Do you play D&D? Or, hey, do you like pissing off Games Workshop lawyers, right? You could print super high quality detailed models on a resin, okay? This was primed, I believe, so it's not like the actual resin coat. I spray painted this with primer. But you can do super high detailed models. The supports work really well with resin. So it's just like models with a ton of supports, they break off clean, and you can just print them. You don't have to like worry about like FDM, you have to slice stuff in different ways. And also really fine detail and layer heights. So if for whatever reason you're trying to print something with a lot of curves, layer lines don't show up too well on resin. It's very good for round objects. So that, but mechanically, resin printers are shit simple. You have a bed that moves up and down. That's it. And then you have a screen and a tub. So mechanically, they're quite simple. The big thing is the lenses, from my understanding, and how long they last. So there's different types of resin or different types of light sources. The older ones used to burn out relatively quickly, was I guess kind of the thing. They last longer now. The resolution's higher, so your XY resolution's higher. You get all kinds of fancy stuff like better rails and whatnot. So if you want to know everything about the Photon Mono X2, link in the description, check it all out if you're interested. They make higher res versions too. So your LCD resolution, that's your XY dimension. So that's how accurate stuff will be on the XY. Now remember, a 4K screen on a 9-inch screen, 4K resolution on a 9-inch screen will be a better resolution, will give you a better image than a 4K screen on, say, a 12-inch screen, right? Because it stretches it out, right? So you got to do some math to figure out what is the most optimal accuracy, right? Because you could have a case where a 6K screen gives you a worse accuracy than a 4K, depending on how big the screens are, right? There's your resolution in microns, if you want to know that. So yeah. Also, resin, this shit is nasty. Wear gloves, minimum. Wear gloves. Try and anytime you're doing resin, try and do it in a well-ventilated environment. I can't really do that. I have a fan going just to circulate the air around in this room while I'm doing this. And usually I'm not in this room. When I'm doing printing, let alone resin. So this came in a box. I took it out of the box. I threw the box out. So this is what we got right here. Double gloves. You don't need to double glove. Isn't that like, when you double gloves, isn't that like bad things happen? Don't they break? Or is that something else I'm thinking of doubling up on? So you got the lid. Now this is one thing I'm not a huge fan of with Anycubic printers, or at least most of the ones I've seen, but this is something a lot of resin printers suffer from. You have to take this lid off to get at your print, which, give me a door. So the problem with this is if you want to put resin printers on a shelf, so if you want to put them on a shelf, you need enough clearance above the printer to take the lid off. So we'll get this together and I'll show you what I mean. But like, you can't just, you know, a 3D printer like this, you can put it on a shelf this wide because it comes out the front. But like a resin, you need top clearance to get these off. Some of them have doors, but usually those are the higher end ones. Post-processing sucks. Yeah. I've only got a small wash and cure station, so I'm kind of limited when it comes to that. And before you ask, yes, you do need the lid. A lot of them have a sensor of some sort to prevent the machine from even running with the lid off. You use UV light to cure resin. UV light also does bad stuff like cancer to humans after some time, and I think you can get sunburns in your eyes if you look at it. Don't look at UV light. Don't be exposed to raw UV. You need to use this. Also, if your room the printer is in has a window, and you just leave your printer out with resin out, it'll just cure on you from the sun. The sun will cure it. So, somebody's at my door. Nobody's at my door. I'm going crazy. So yeah, so you need the lid. How many 3D printers do I have? A plethora. Resin printers, this will be the third resin printer, but I'm thinking of downsizing my resin to probably just this one actually, because I don't do a lot of resin and I need to kind of sort out that resin corner. Okay, so we got this. I think this is the bed. There we go. So the bed on this is this guy. It's got this finish to it. What do they call it here? In laser engraved. So it's got like a textured finish to it. This should help with make easier to remove your prints after. So, and it improves adhesion. So you print right on metal. Usually with a resin printer, you're printing right on I think it's aluminum, usually like a metal plate. Wow, the white balance is going to shit. You print right on a metal plate. Now you can get add-ons like Wham Bam, I think, makes a magnetic flex plates for resin printers, but you don't need glue stick, you don't need PI, you don't need any of that. You just print right on this, and then you hack it off with a spatula, essentially. World's smallest printer. Yeah, resin machines are super simple because you only need to move in one axis. So a lot of the time, they go beefy. So in this case, we have dual, what are these, HG15s? EG15s? I can't see, it's really crazy. I'll take a look. EG15s, yeah, you got dual EG15 rails here. So these rails, yeah, these are some chonky boy rails. These are some chonky boy rails because your XY resolution is so good, and you don't have to worry about over extrusion and other stuff on 3D printers that hides defects in a motion system. If your Z is wobbling, you'll see it hardcore on a resin print. So they really constrain the motion system on good resin printers. You want that. We have our basin here. I'm hearing noises and I don't know what. Please tear off protective film before use. Okay. So unfortunately, this one doesn't have an autofill system. With the bigger resin printers, they have systems where you can like just plug a jug into the side and it'll just keep it topped up. This one doesn't have it. Anything bigger than this, you'd probably want it though. I'm hearing. What's that? My neighbor doing something? Maybe my neighbor's doing something. So we got that, we got that. You don't want to damage. Oh, it's this. Okay. You don't want to damage this film. You want to be careful with it. Don't put it down on anything directly. This one doesn't have it. Oh, it does. It does have itty bitty little pegs for locating that should hopefully keep it off, but don't put it directly down on anything. Okay. You don't want it to get, you don't want it scuffed. You don't want hair attached to it. You want it to be pretty clean. Fat. Yeah, it's fat. Fat. I think it's fat. Okay. Also, this is your screen. You don't want stuff on it, so you want to keep this as clean as possible. There's a little protective film here. Basically peel that off, put the container on as quick as possible. If you have a dog that sheds a lot, like I do, or you have cats or whatever, do this outside maybe. It keeps the dust off, right? Or just do it in a room with a fan going so that it doesn't have time to settle. So let me actually turn my fan up a little bit here just to get a little air movement. Okay, and that is that. Now, hopefully the manual's in here. So that's all the foam. It's packed pretty good. What do we got on here? We got UV wavelength, power. So on the one side, we got nothing. On the front, we got nothing. So we got nothing on the front other than the screen. This side, we got USB, power, and the power inlet. And on the back, we got 2 vents for probably cooling fan for this. Okay. What's in the box? Okay, so we got, these are funnels to pour the resin back into the container if you need to. Got a power supply. It is a 2 amp, 24 volt. Or no, sorry. 5 amp, 24 volt. Yeah. So we got that. The good old C14 power plug that you've probably got a bazillion of by now if you're involved with this hobby. Bag of goodies. Ooh, a spatula. Resin printers usually come with a pretty beefy spatula because you're hacking prints off these sometimes. We've got instructions, which we're gonna have to follow. Is this a spare FEP sheet? Okay, we got a spare FEP sheet, and then this paper can be used for leveling. Cool. So I'm gonna take that out, put that over there. This spare FEP sheet I'm going to keep because if you got to replace it, you got to replace it, and they are a consumable. Resin printers don't need a lot of maintenance until they do, in my experience and from what I understand talking to people. Basically, it'll just, there's nothing that can go wrong on it. It's one axis, but when something goes wrong and you got to do maintenance, it's a pain in the butt. It's spatula. How do you pronounce it? It's spatula. Okay, installation of screen protector. So if you got to replace it, there's instructions. Or a screen protector. Actually, what is it? It might be a screen protector, you're right. Yeah, I think it's a screen protector. What's this? Yeah, it might be an extra screen protector. So sometimes they come with an extra FEP sheet. I don't think this one does. Okay, so we're gonna follow the instructions here and get this set up. So peel off that front one. FEP sheet there. Need a power cable. Power this up. Want to try resin? Just need to bite the bullet and get one. Resin is really good for those that need it. You get like, it's really good for like here. Even if you do a lot of stuff with FDM, it's good to have a resin printer. So, for example, when I did my my blaster here for the Mando cosplay, the sights are resin. So these are resin, okay? Because it's just a heck of a lot easier to get good quality small parts out of resin than you can with FDM, and they're usually stronger too, because small parts you're relying a lot on layer adhesion, and usually they break a lot. So having a resin printer in your arsenal, in your toolbox, can be worth it, but it really depends on what you do. There's downsides to resin print. Don't be building 3D printers out of resin. It usually always fails. So there's pros and cons to resin. There's videos that cover it in way more detail than I would ever cover. I think I've done it on a video, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. But with resin, you just got to be careful because it's a mess. You got to wear gloves. I'm surprised this. Oh, it does come with gloves. So we're going to use the gloves this came with. It's a mess. you need silicone. I have a silicone mat somewhere. I gotta find it. What do we got here? We got screen protector accessories. We've got a squeegee, which you're gonna need to some point. Some gloves. Got the little knobs to hold the screen in. And some Allen keys and nuts and bolts. And a QC card. Look at that. It's good. There's my serial number, I guess, if somebody wants to register. I don't think that does anything. I have as failed with resin print stuff. There's, if you look at the whale, there's a part that I tried to print for the Mandalorian blaster on there that failed because I ran out of resin. It's been on there for probably 6 months. Shows you how often I use resin, because it's like all hardened. It's a mess, and I'm like, next time I need it, I'll clean it off, and I haven't needed it, and now I have a new resin printer. So now I don't know. I'll give it to somebody at some point. Okay, unpack and remove all accessories, and plug in power and turn on the printer. Step: raise the Z-axis to a certain height to ensure that the curing screen will not be scratched when the printing platform is installed. So we turn that on. So the UI, for those that have ever used an Anycubic, the UI is pretty much the same. So we got to move it up. Tools, move Z, up. So we need to move this up all the way. So it kind of sucks. You can only move it in 10 mil increments, but we need to move it up out of the way so that we can do the next steps without it being in the way. And do I have, dang it, I thought I had, that'll work. I was trying to, I don't want dust on anything when I take anything apart. So that's got a protective film on the bottom too. Okay, cool. So tear off the protective film before printing and leveling. Okay, loosen the 4 screws. So there's 4 screws on this that we need to loosen. Okay, so these are loosey-goosey. It's not a book. Okay. So we need to install and secure the printing platform. Peel off this. Now we gotta be careful for dust. Okay, install and secure the printing platform. So you slide it in all the way, it's notched, and then you tighten that. Place the leveling paper on the curing screen, then click home on the touchscreen. Wait for the Z-axis to descend and stop automatically. Use your fingers to press the platform gently, then tighten the 4 screws. Okay, so I've done this before. So you put our leveling paper down and you hit home. You need these screws loose, otherwise you're going to break something. So this is why I like resin printers when it comes to leveling, because you literally just put a piece of paper down that is the proper width. Okay, and then you just kind of make sure it is down, and you just kind of tighten them. Like, don't push a lot, just enough to hold it down so you're not like, you know, it doesn't move while you tighten this. Go. Okay, there's that. Okay. Click Z0. Enter. Click enter again. The printing platform will lift up automatically. There we go. That's how you level it. Okay, and now we're gonna move this up a bit more. Okay. So Z0. Take out the paper till now. The leveling platform is finished. Okay. Detection. Raise the printing platform until the carrying screen can be observed. Okay, so we'll move this piece of paper out. Okay. Okay. Return to the tools menu. Hit detection. Set the test time and click next. Ooh. Okay. To display an image like that. Okay. So we're good. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like that, so we're good. Now we put our vat in. So on this, we gotta peel this off. And there's little itty bitty notches for indexing. There we go. And the spout, it says max on both sides, but the spout I usually put at the front right. And then you got two little knobby knobs. In. Now, unfortunately, these aren't captive, which would have been nice, but it's not. There we go. So we got that. Well, I do a tap or clicky. I don't think that's required. I think it's such a simple method. The bed platform doesn't matter. Okay. Please check the Shep film. Yeah, it's a stooge. Please check the FEP film carefully before and after every printing. If the FEP film is broken, replace it immediately. Insert the USB memory to the machine and print the test file. Make sure to wear a mask and gloves. Okay, so we got a USB here. I don't have a slicer installed on it, so I'm just going to go with the test print for now. But we need to put some resin in here. So move you up out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how these gloves are. Which is worse, printing resin or Ohio water? Neither, Ohio air. So let's see how these gloves are. So for the reference, I have medium-sized hands, and these gloves are freaking huge. And they look wet on the inside. I don't know what's worst. Single lead screw can't be too good. Why wouldn't it be? It's got dual EG15 rails to constrain everything. Got that. So, where is it? I used to have, I don't know where I put it. I gotta find it. Oh, they're in that corner there. Shoot. Well, hopefully I don't spill. So you remove the protective film from the screen. I did! I did. Always shake your resin up too. So the resin we're using is ABS-like from Anycubic. I don't think this doesn't have a fan. This doesn't have a filter fan. Now, I'm going to fill it to the fill line simply because I'm going to be doing a bunch of prints. So we're going to go to max. So this is 1 kilogram of resin. So we'll see how much it holds. But my desk isn't level, so I'm actually going to stop right there. Okay. Now this has, it doesn't, that sucks. This does not have adjustable feet. So if it's not sitting level, you may have to shim it. Which I can kind of do. Okay. Put the lid back on. Go. Okay. So let's go back to home. Print. Test. There's 2 files. There's a file called RERF and test. We're going to do test. What is RERF though? RERF is a bunch of test prints. We'll do that one. And print. Now, I don't think this has a detector for when this is open, unfortunately. Yeah. So this one doesn't seem to have a detector. But we're going to leave that on anyways, because okay. So it'll show what the image is that's being burned, like layer by layer. Because the advantage of resin, you can print, if you print, so here's, okay. So with FDM, it doesn't scale, it scales linearly, okay? So if you print 1 Cali Dragon in an hour, if you want to print 2 Cali Dragons, it'll take 2 hours, okay? If you want to print 4 Cali Dragons, it'll take 4 hours. Class, if I wanted to print 8 Cali Dragons on a FDM machine and it takes 1 hour to print 1, how many hours will it take to print 8? It's an exposure test? Okay. Renee is kind of wrong. Fair Frozen is wrong. Okay, somebody put 8. Sanders put 8. Okay, correct, 8. Now, on a resin machine, if you print one of these in an hour, how many hours will it take to print 8 of these? Same height. We just multiplied it by 8 across the bed. How many hours will it take on a resin machine? If it takes 1 hour to print 1. 1, exactly. So the advantage with resin is it doesn't, a layer time is layer time. Doesn't matter how many things you print, it's layer time that dictates your print time. Now, obviously, depending on the resin you're using, the exposure settings, you might want different settings. Like usually you print your first couple layers take longer, and then you're printing at like 3 or 4 seconds a layer because you're gonna do the final cure at the watch station. So there are things that will affect your print time, but it's Z. XY, whatever you're printing on the XY doesn't affect your print time. If you're printing something this big and it's 1,000 layers tall, or you're printing something this big and it's 1,000 layers tall, they'll print in the same amount of time. What about durability? It depends on the resin. Resin is usually, for the most part, brittle. If you print it like solid, it can be pretty dense and pretty strong. like, do I have a resin print I can sacrifice? No, I don't want to break these because my wife likes these because these are Harry Potter. I gotta have a sacrificial resin. Okay, this will work. Okay, cast. No. I gotta have a. Oh, no. I don't have any sacrificial resin prints that I can just. Oh, here we go. That'll work. Okay. So, got this guy. This is resin. Okay. So this was printed on the whale, I think. So this is just like generic resin. So he is pretty strong. But brittle. So his mustache just goes flying off, right? It depends on the axis you push on it. That one's pretty strong. But you can see it breaks clean, right? So resin is kind of like, think of it kind of like PLA in that regard. Also when it gets hot, it doesn't work. Some of them, like, they crack in heat. Like, that's the problem that kills them in Vorons. People use printed Voron parts, they just explode. They can't take the heat. How long does it take a layer to cure? It depends on the machine. Currently, I think the fastest resin printer is the Prusa one right now, or one of the fastest. Because instead of, you have to remember when you print your layer, when you expose that layer, you have to pull it off the FEP, right? That plastic sheet, the FEP sheet, that makes it so that it's stuck more to the bed than it is to the FEP. That's the whole point of the FEP. Okay, because otherwise when you cure it, it'll stick to both. So it has to peel off that sheet, and how quickly you can peel it off that sheet depends. On the Prusa machine, instead of you trying to pull it off, it's like a magnet, right? If you got a sheet of magnet, and it's stuck down, and you try to pick it straight up, it's hard. If you peel it up, it comes off easier. So on the Prusa machine, the bed tilts, and it allows it to come up and come down really quickly. On these machines, because it's flat on flat, you have to like, yeah, it takes a minute. So it really depends on the machine, but usually once you get going, layer times aren't too bad. Also another problem, I have no idea how the print's doing right now. You can listen, and if it's good, you'll hear it pop off the bed, which I did hear a pop, so we should be okay. But usually your first couple layers, you overexpose the hell out of to make sure it's stuck to the bed. And then once you get going, it's like, what, 3 to 5 seconds per layer? So you have 3 to 5 seconds of exposure, and then you have a travel. So you can go up slower than you can come down, but if you come down, you get bubbles. Like it, you're looking at layer times like 10 seconds. Plus minus 5, depending on the machine. So, Toftage gifted 1 community membership. Cheers. Yep, the Resin Stealth Burner is still fun, but also remember, the Resin Stealth Burner has 0 forces on it. So we are printing a lattice cube. So one question I need to ask, what is the current go-to resin slicer? Because that's what I don't know, what the current resin slicer. How thick is it? I don't know. This is a default print, or a test print. Because I don't have any slicers set up, I didn't want to go through all that. Plus it's Friday, so we're doing a print and chill. Buy a mask. You would want to wear a mask. If you're doing this a lot, wear a mask. Or a fume hood or something. I don't do a ton of resin, and I'm usually not in this room when the resin is going. This room is in my basement. There's only one AC vent. It's plugged. And the door has like gasket around it, like literally foam gasket around the door. So when bad stuff are going on in this room, it usually stays in this room. Cheeto Box, yeah, Cheeto Box seems to be the that's what I remember. So I gotta download a newer version of that. Is the like button broken? Everyone double check the like button. Also, if you want to win some filament from Polymaker, because we give away a spool every stream, link in the description. By the way, we're like 40 minutes into this and we're already printing. I think this is like the quickest we've got a print going on one of these unboxing streams. But it's a resin machine. There's really really not much to these. Yeah, I'm probably gonna retire that Anycubic 2 hazmat suit. Where is my, where is it? Where is it? Let me go take a look. Where is it? I know I have it somewhere. Where are you? Are you in this room? I've got a million printers in this room, but no idea where I put it. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? No. Oh, well, there's that. No. I don't know where my mask is. I got one in the garage. Like, I've got an actual, like, C4 mask. But I think the filters I have for it are for tear gas, so I don't think that would work too well with resin particulate. And then I also have, like, a respirator mask in the garage. Some printers come with a code for the Pro version. I don't know. For the user manual. So, that's one thing. This manual didn't say anything about slicer, I don't think. Okay, let me wait for this to move. Oh. I missed a call. Who called me? Incoming suspected spam call. Decline. Go away. Do I have a mic for my C4 mask? No. Okay, does it say anything? Oh, where'd my music go? What the heck is going on here? Turn off Bluetooth. Go back to the, there we go. Try firmware, slicer, single payment for Pro. And I don't want to pay simply for the fact I don't believe you should pay for a slicer. I don't like how in resin all the good slicers are paid for, in FDM they're not. All you're doing is taking an STL and making images out of it. But it is what it is. Yeah, it doesn't say anything on here about slicers at all. This is the whole manual. It just, how to put it together, how to print. Nothing about how to actually slice anything is in the manual. Most FDM printers have a section in the manual about that, but it is what it is. You're just paying for nice, yeah. To lock down their ecosystem. Yeah, I know. Who is Cheeto Box again? Who developed the Cheeto Box or Cheeto Slicer? Yeah, Prusa Slicer does resin, but from my understanding, it's not great, I think. If you have complicated questions about Voron, did you try asking in the Voron Discord? Like, if you got a random little question, you can ask it, and if you know, if not the whole stream, I can answer, but we'll see. There's a manual on the USB. Okay, well, it didn't tell me about that. We follow the manual. So at this point, I put this here, and it goes, wow. So this is the problem with live streaming resin prints. Okay, now just watch that 1,000 times over. BigTreeTech is light sheet. Okay. Separate company. It also provides the board. Okay, so Cheeto Box is the board maker. Okay. Yeah, Cheeto Box is like a lot. There's no Marlin for resin printers. There's no open source kind of firmware for resin printers. They all pretty much run Cheeto Box. Why does it go up and down? Because it has to. You can't. So you have to come down you expose the layer. The layer is the resin that is between the bed and the screen. So it displays an image on the LCD. The image is basically a black and white image of the layer. And everything that's black doesn't let the UV light through, and everything that's clear lets the UV light through. So you can see right here, it's displaying, this one layer is displaying, it's a dot, okay? So that's how it works. It displays the layer, and then after a couple seconds, that layer semi-cures. You have to pull the bed up to separate what was just cured off the FEP film, okay? And then it comes back down a layer height higher and does it again and again and again and again and again and again until you build up the whole image. So a resin printer, you're printing upside down. How do resin printers home? Same as any printer. It's got a little Z switch. The bed is fixed. So unlike the people that think 3D printers need 3 points in a perfect world, guess what? Beds and gantries aren't flat and always trammed out. So 3 point, it doesn't really make sense. On a resin printer, you have a flat glass screen and you have a flat machine surface, and they come and they touch. So what you do on these ones, you got the 2 screws on that side, 2 screws on that side. That holds the bed to the arm. You loosen them up, you come down, you home. When it clicks the Z switch, you tighten all those screws up, and now that bed is perfectly flat and trammed to the screen. And you lock them in and you're done. And then it just uses the Z switch to home. Or usually I believe it's a optical. They use optical on this for over travel. So yeah, the screens are a consumable. I think they're up to you get a few thousand hours out of them though. It's not like it's gonna wear out after like a week of printing. It's a few thousand hours, I think. It just, unfortunately, it's not too exciting to watch. It's just a resin printer. You can pause it. So let's see. So right now we're doing we're doing the lattice cube. So we're already doing the branching part of it. Mono screens are rated for 2000. Okay. So the paper is used for the first layer. Pretty much, yeah. The paper is used to set your Z. Because remember, you home it without the bed in, or the vat, and the vat has a layer of FEP film. So I'm assuming the FEP is thinner than the paper. So that allows you to compensate for the FEP film and the first layer. My friend gave me a voxel lab with Creality firmware. Is there any better? Yeah, put Clipper on it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Put Clipper on it. Does temperature affect resin? Yes, it does. You need it to be somewhat, I think it's got to be above 20 C, 25 C. It's got to be warm. Right now in my room, it's 22.3. You can also level it with the vat. You can, but you got to be careful not to damage anything. Ajax, they're over 2K max 1C. Completely different technologies though. This is a high intensity UV light. It's like projectors. Projectors wear out over time. Like it's a consumable. It just is what it is. Completely different technologies. That printer has like 15,000 hours on it in its various forms altogether. Power down recovery. Nice. So they don't work in the USA. They use Fahrenheit. They do, but you need the conversion kit. What's the life on a DLP? I don't know off the top of my head. You'll have to look that up. I'm waiting on the snow. We're supposed to get a snowstorm today, I think, or tonight. Just broke my new key back. The tip fell off. Do you know where I could find a for a tipless key back? I don't know. What you could do is just print it to something and tie it on, maybe. Or you could do the I don't know, where is it? I did a video on it. You can use a little. You can use these guys. You can use breakboards if you don't want to use a key back. I did a video on it on the channel. How's the X1 Carbon? Pretty good. Oh, speaking of it, hey, are you a member of the channel or Patreon supporter? Guess what? You can watch tomorrow's video early. It's live right now. I just did the Hydra AMS on it. So guess what? It prints Jesse PLA now, just fine. Actually, speaking of, I gotta print something on this. My little guy is absolutely obsessed with Kirby right now. So I need to print like a whole bunch of Kirbys because I printed him one. And he's probably gonna break it at some point because it's just a little PLA Kirby. So I need to print like a whole, like, army of Kirbys. There we go. Oh wait, I gotta turn this back on. Yeah. Print the fume extractor Kirby. I need to do that. I don't have the material for it though, or the hardware. I think I was using this red. Yeah, I used this red. Are you on? There you go, now you're on. Do I recommend the P1P? In its price range, it's probably the best printer you can get for the value. What a lot of waste. I heard you can print a spacer. Yes, you can. Did you watch my video? I'm not gonna bother with the spacer yet because I'm probably gonna not even use. Oh wait, I should probably actually plug the AMS in. I don't have the AMS plugged in. They had to take it off to take a picture for the thumbnail. There we go. Do I gotta power cycle it? I hope not. AMS. Okay, you are loaded with generic PLA and your pink. Confirm. Okay, so pink, red, black, white. Oh. Ah. Okay, maybe you're not loaded properly. So this AMS I'm not super happy with because this is a V1 AMS, but I did the mod on this one. So if I screwed it up, I had 2 chances to do it. And I'd rather break it on the older one than the newer one that I have right here. Oh, this filament's broken. How are you broken? That ain't good. Bigger video. Autofocus. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Why are you broken? Okay, there was a strand on this, and I don't know where it went. Did it fall off? Where'd it go? Okay. Cool. So you're pink. And you're generic PLA. Okay, and you are generic PLA. Be nice if you could set a default instead of having to, every time you want to do it, have to like reset it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Load a single object with multiple parts. Yep. Okay. So we got Kirby. So the red is red. The pink is pink. The white is white. It's only his eyes. And the red or the black is black. And then that's silk, and that's polytera. Yep. Object. So we are going to scale you down to like, I want to do a bunch of these guys. So 40. Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Arrange. There we go. Move you over here, away from the purge tower. Slice. Wow, the resin printing's doing stuff, guys. Look at it go. Why does it always put the seam? Where's the seam? Seam go in the back. I don't want to see the seam. Back. I don't want to see the seam. Print plate. No flow calibration, does nothing. Go! Go, my army of Kirbys. Ever heard of the Deltesian printer? Yeah, I know about Deltesian. It's a fun little project. Have you had any plate adhesion issues with black ABS on the Bambu textured PI sheet? Not that I'm aware of. Okay, so I'm using the sheet that... New update available on the P1P. Yes, update. I'm using the PI plate that came with the P1P on the X1, and then on my P1P, I actually just have a it's just a Fabrico 250 plate. So it's a little undersized, but it works. That's red. It's red. It's silk red. So I've got 2 spools of Jesse PLA, which used to not work, and now they work great. So are the parts in the V-Minion, if you get the kit from Rat Rig, then yes, the parts for the V-Minion are in PETG. I printed my own in ABS. Is it the thermal protection? I don't know. I know this one's fixed now. I think the P1P is too. The problem is they run different firmware because the web interface part of it is in the screen. So they don't run the same firmware for the interface, which is kind of annoying. Because the Wi-Fi on the P1P sucks. Like, I have a several $100 Wi-Fi 6 router, a Ubiquiti Amplify Alien, literally right there outside the room. And this thing is slow as shit on Wi-Fi, and there's no other option. And it takes forever to unpack a file. Like the X1 is multitudes faster when it comes to sending stuff through it. Do I recommend the ERCFA? If you're looking for a DIY open source multi-material unit, then yes. How reliable is it? Depends how well you build it. And yeah, remember how we had the Wi-Fi issues? And oh, you have too many Wi-Fi devices. That's why it's not connected. I can connect 120 devices to that thing over Wi-Fi. That's what the limit is. So that's not the issue. They have to punish you for getting the cheap model. It's not cheap. It was not cheap. I went with it though because for how big my house is, it's not that big. One router right in the middle of my house covers the whole house, so I don't need repeaters or anything. That's the thing. And then I think I figured out what we're doing with the garage. We might talk about it tomorrow, but I can punch a hole through the wall under the stairs into the garage to run Ethernet anyway, so I don't need Wi-Fi out there. Put a car in there? No, I can't. I can. The thing is, I have a 1-car garage, but a 2-car driveway, and I have a sidewalk. So you can't park on like half of my driveway because you block the sidewalk. It's stupid. I hate it because you're not allowed to block sidewalks. So the issue I have is if you park in the garage, you can't just back out of the garage if there's another car in the driveway. You have to like, if you both park where we normally park, if one's in the garage, you can't like back around it. The other car has to be like really far back. It just makes it really annoying. We tried it. It just... Oh. Remember how I said the AMS wasn't plugged in? I didn't have the PTFE2 plugged in either. I thought it was just the power. No, I forgot to plug the PTFE back in. Oh. Oh. Okay, where the hell are you going, filament? Okay, stop. Stop. How did you, like this machine, why did you not realize something was wrong and stop this? How did it try to fit? I'm just gonna feed like 20 meters of filament. Well, I guess we figured out where that filament came from the other day, or earlier. Okay, put the Bowden in. Why isn't the Bowden locked? 1 second. I had it in earlier. I did the print. Oh, because there's a piece of... Oh my God. Here we go. Okay, so you are good. Okay, that makes a bit more sense why that was going on there. There we go. Where's the poop chute? Poop chute lined up? Poop chute's lined up. Okay. Close. There we go. That makes a bit more sense. Because the thing was, I had it printing yesterday, and I'm like, why aren't you printing now? Why are we having this issue? And it's like, oh wait, it's because I unplugged it to take the picture for the thumbnail, and I forgot to hook the Bowden tube back up. So it's just feeding out the back into nothing. Which explains why I found that random filament earlier. Oh, wait, no, cancel. Enable AMS. Turn off low calibration. Go. There we go. Print the Kirby. Okay. Back to the resin printers. How many included side cutters you got with all your printers? Yes. I don't know. I've got them like everywhere. Now there are 3 dots. There are 4 lights. There we go. Side cutter review when? Yeah, here. You want good side cutters? These are kind of crappy because they're really worn out. Gate Pros. We use these at the tool shop that I worked at to cut runners off of parts after they come out of injection mold, and they actually have a little screw and lock nut, so you could actually set them to make sure you don't overcut and damage the edge, because they're flush cutters, right? So when you close them, you're closing sharp against sharp, and you can wear them out really quickly. So you actually can adjust this little screw here so it doesn't bottom out. So you don't actually accidentally crush your sharp edge. There we go. There we go. Nippex are good too. Nippex are good too. Actually, I don't know. Are those Nippex Gate Pro? I can't remember who Gate Pro is. With Linus and the screwdriver, when are you coming out with a side cutter? I should just buy like 1 million of these off like Alibaba. Just buy like 1,000 of them and just like write my name on with marker and sell them. $20x markup. I mean, if I have a jerry rig everything knife, and guess what? It's the same thing as these. Like all the jerry rig knife is this with a plastic body with just says jerry rig everything on it, but right LTT on them. Yeah, the thing is, I am in Canada, and LTT is in Canada, and I don't want the Linus lawyers coming after me. Although I don't think they would do that. You know what's bad? I don't know what it is with Jesse PLA Pink, but it stinks. It does not smell like bubble gum. I'm actually not liking the smell of that more than that. Dennis would come to break my key. No, not Dennis! Anyone but Dennis. Although I did use my LTT pad, desk pad for the video for tomorrow. So there you go. I've done free advertising for LTT. You know, I use their screwdriver all the time now. I find so many screws because every time I put this down, the magnet attracts like a bunch of screws I got left on my desk. This is PLA. This is an ABS. Yeah, the whole videos where like the LTT crew was like hiding in Linus's house, where I just found those weird. Like, I don't want people coming in my house. You know, his house is pretty much a set at this point. I do want to try printing those toroidal blades though for FPV quadcopters on this. That is something I do want to try. So. LTT has Mr. Beast on speed dial. I mean, does he? Has he ever mentioned that? I don't think so. I believe it's LCD. Let's take a look here. So The screen on this is LCD. Yeah, it's LCD. So let's see, where is the download? Do they have a specific slicer on Anycubic site they recommend? Accessories, support, firmware, resin settings. What does Anycubic recommend? I'm trying to find what Anycubic has for recommendations. Light sheet. I'm trying to find it. Like, so if I just bought this machine, right? Hey, I just bought this. Where their downloads? Back to school sale. Motherboard, build plate. So if you need a new screen, you can wear it out. It's 99 bucks. So that's not too bad. I should have seen if they would send me a wash and cure station with it too. I need a new wash and cure station. Mine's small. I can't really check the USB because it's printing. I'll check after. How can you get a call in me? I don't put out my phone number. Unless you're Joel. Joel has my phone number. I don't care about the LiDAR. It doesn't do anything. Shut up. It keeps yelling at me that my LiDAR is dirty, and I've cleaned it, and it's still saying it's dirty. I turned off the flow calibration. Why are you even trying to use the LiDAR? It's disabled. Why are you trying to use the LiDAR? Their download page has Cura. Not for resin. Cura doesn't do resin. Should have Joe's number. I mean, I've talked with Joe on Twitter, but that's about it. But I mean, like, there's always the super secret Discord that all the content creators are in that we don't let people in. It's an exclusive club. You gotta wear a hat. Did somebody say Clipper? No, yeah, Kenneth, that he called me up. He's like, hey, I got an idea for a video. Can you film something for me quick? And I'm like, yeah, sure. There's an orange phone. Yeah, that's what it is. It's actually I keep it behind my spool of orange Prusa. You pull it. It's like you got the shelf here of all my filament, and what you do is you pull out the orange spool of Prusa, and the phone's behind it to call Joe. What is going on? That level. Come on, X1, do your thing. Ooh. I'm noticing something on the P1P after this firmware update, and I'm gonna let it. Okay, if anyone here in the audience has a P1P and didn't do the firmware update today, does your screen go to sleep? Like, is it like bright and then it gets dark after a while? 'Cause I'm just noticing mine is still bright. And normally it goes to sleep after a while, if I remember correctly. Is it smoking? Not this time. Prusa slicer will not output the correct file type for Anycubic resin printer. Okay, there you go. Programmer X gifted 1 community membership. Cheers. How's the snow up there? You guys got a bunch of it, didn't you? I've seen some of the pictures. I haven't looked, but I think the AMS is messed up. Are there firmware updates for the AMS? That AMS is like an original one that hasn't been plugged in like 6 months, and I just plugged it in and it's working. So record high and more to come. Oh, that sucks. I think we're supposed to get some down here, but it's like we got no snow right now. Let me check my map. Rain and snow. How much are they calling for? Oh, it's gonna snow all night. Are all the bottom of the product page above the reviews. Oh, here we go. Firmware slicer photon workshop. Okay. This is a new one. Windows. 2.19. Sure. I mean, it's random firmware off a Google Drive from some website in China. How bad could it be? Download anyways. I don't know. Google says it's fine. Too big to scan for viruses. If it's too big to scan for viruses, that means the viruses are they won't be in there. It's too big. Viruses are small. So if it's too big, obviously there's no viruses. Sound logic. Oh, there we go. Windows protected this PC. Run anyways. YOLO. And I think my screen just went dark. Okay, install language. Yes. Next. Agree. Sure. Agree. Install. It's all viruses. Yeah, it's the Three Stooges syndrome. They all can't get through the door at the same time, right? They recommend Cheetah Box. So here's the thing. I'm going to use a slicer that is on their page here for now. Slicer that, yeah, so this is their slicer. This computer, I'm doing an upgrade on my main computer hopefully next week, and the hardware from that computer is going to get moved into this computer along with a not, you know, I got to fix this problem. See how we have like no room on this hard drive? Yeah, so I need to put a new hard drive in there. So I'm doing some computer rebuilding over the next couple weeks. So this computer is getting reflashed. I'm reinstalling Windows on here from scratch, going to Windows 11. And new hardware. So I really don't care what I put on this computer right now. Yeah, Cheetah Box is subscription. I don't like subscription. Don't. Okay, so let's see. So we have this printer. So global. No, I don't want the cloud. Printer. Do I have to log in for this? Please tell me I don't have to log in. Edit. Bigger settings. Okay, I don't have that. I have a Photon Mono X2. Okay. There's the resolution. There's the XY. Resin. Default resin. Okay, we'll add a resin. Slicer parameters. No more exposure time. Sure. We'll just go with default for now. Sure. Save. Save. Okay. So what bed am I using here? Is okay, so I guess we are using that. Okay. Let me find something here. Let's find a model. Yeah, I know the subscription is optional. I know that. Let's see. Let's do a Chelsea model. I like Chelsea models. Okay, so obviously that don't fit. Rotate. That is kind of big. Okay, scale. Fit maximum. Go. Well, that. Can you center it? Center. Reset. On platform. Center. There we go. Okay, so, well, obviously his ear ain't fitting. Scale. 80%. We'll just do 80%. There we go. Cool. Support settings. Medium, mid, advanced, manual support, automatic support. Generate supports on platform. You know, this technically doesn't need supports. I just want to see what it does. No, I'm going to print this after. I just wanted something quick and easy to see how the slicer is, but it's thinking. I'll let you know when it's done thinking. I just figure you'd rather see me than a this. The lower benefits. Yeah, you're right. The lower does benefit. Even Shido box. Gonna do the robot dance again. I don't know. We're still good. It's at, oh, it's 5% supports. There is no drain in the model. I'll do that after. Although I think this model would be kind of funky to print empty because it's a it's just a skull. It's a thin shell. So like the horns would benefit, but everything else is, wow, that's okay. We don't need that much support. Let's reset that, delete, remove all supports. Okay. We only need supports on like the bottom area. Everything else, like this is printed in FDM and it doesn't need supports. Okay. So let's hollow it out. How do we hollow it? Layout, punching, hollow. I don't know what this is. Yeah, I'll just manually support it. Oh man, there is a lot of support in here. Yeah, there's a lot of hollow in here. Yeah. Okay, I thought this didn't have that much hollow. It's a lot of hollow. Yeah, there's a lot of hollow. Okay. Let's punch some holes in this. Let's punch some holes in this. Oop. 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 Seriously, you have to think to put a hole in it? Okay. Oh, I've done resin before. I know about how you have to put a bunch of holes for suction and what. I know about that. I am aware about that. Oh, we're getting out of the resin. We're getting out of the resin. Don't tell me it takes this long to put one bloody hole in it. I'm gonna go back to Cheeto box. Like we just put one hole. Literally, it took that long to calculate one hole. Watch. Click. I'm not going to subject you to staring at that screen. I'm going to subject you to this instead. Yeah, I'm not liking this slicer. We're not using this slicer. Goodbye. Cancel. I'll download a slicer after. TPM, it should. So what's going on is a buddy sent me, I bought a used 3950. So I'm going to upgrade my main computer, which has a 3700X. So that's going to go from a 3700X to a 3950X. I think it's X. I think there's no non-X variant. but we're gonna do that. It's gonna get a new motherboard as well, a B550. It's got a B450. So the old motherboard and the 3700X is gonna come into this computer along with an upgrade of a 1070. I got a 1060 in there right now, which I'm also getting. So 1070, a 3700X and 32 gigs of RAM instead of a 3100, a 1060 and 16 gigs of RAM. So that'll be the new stream PC. And then this computer that I'm on right now will become the Unraid server. So we'll probably end up building the Unraid server on a live stream on a Friday or something. We're literally watching resin dry. I know. Well, we could watch this. I'm watching that little... Why are you doing your first layer scan? Nobody cares about the first layer scan. You're horrible at it anyways. You don't have the brains to calculate it. But the computer upstairs can do Windows 11, so I can put Windows 11 on. Oh, I've done resin before. I've got 2 resin machines already. It's just been a while since I've done resin. How many dots now? I'll let you know in a second. There are bowling pins. We're doing a bowling pin now. But we should be able to see soon if I actually have something attached to the bed. Craig, I know about TPM. The computer upstairs is already like bugging me to put Windows 11 on it. If your computer is not ancient, which these aren't, you could do Windows 11. It's a Ryzen 3000 series. Like, it'll do TPM. I could be a hipster and put Linux on it. Actually, for the streaming computer... Oh, no, I can't because I got to install this random... See, look at this. First layer defects were detected. Where? These little nubbins? Who cares? Resume. I don't care about that. That looks fine. It's fine. Tiny 11. I'm not... Okay. Way back in the day, I used to install like stripped down versions of like Windows XP on my computer. I'm not a fan of installing an OS that some random person messed with because you don't know what they did. You don't know how many Bitcoin miners are in there. I hate Bitcoin. I do not want to contribute to that shit at all in any way. I don't want to risk that. Hipster, I've been using Linux. Oh, we know. You told us. Actually, I got Linux on my laptops. I put Linux Mint on my laptops, so. Yeah, basically, from what I understand, Windows 11 is fine now. Although they moved the taskbar or something. Yeah, old motherboards. Yeah, I don't have any old motherboards. Like, I mean, my wife's computer has an i5 2500K in it, but we're not going to try Windows 11 on that. She has no need for Windows 11. The start button's in the middle. Why would they do that? Can you put it back? Please tell me you can put the... No, I like mine in the corner. Why would it be in the middle? Please tell me you can move it. Ugh. So many options in Windows 11. Okay, you can put it back. That's fine. Good. We fear change. It scares us. Good. What did they change to the right-click menu? Why do they gotta do that? Just leave it the way it is. But, hey, remember how they were saying Windows 10 was gonna be the last version of Windows and you'll never have to upgrade it? We'll just do software updates and that'll be it? And then they're like, nope, Windows 11. I might just stick on Windows 10. I don't think there's any real advantage for Windows 11 for my hardware. I think there's some stuff with like the newer graphics cards and something with scheduling, but I don't think Windows... I don't know. I gotta look it up if it's even worth. Like, I don't think there's any compatibility issues I'm gonna worry about. Just keep Win 10. Trying to unify the OS. Oh. Did you have a good day at school, Calvin? Eh. Hmm? You knocked over what? Oh. Calvin. Hey, did you have a good day at school, buddy? No? No? Hey, do you want to say hi to everyone? Here, Kodo, you gotta move. Hey. Oh, you gotta come over here.
Hi, Mama. Hi, Dad. Hi, Koda.
You say hi, everyone?
Hi, everyone. Hi.
What?
What a Kirby.
Oh, what's Daddy making? Hey? What's all that?
Kirby.
Is that all the Kirby's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you can't be in here because there's bad stuff in here right now. So you gotta go upstairs. Okay. Back to the exciting stuff. Look at that thing go. Okay, I think I missed one. Dianos, $11.99. Cheers. I'm wiring my first Voron with CAN bus, EV36, but every hotend and hardware use different connectors, so I'm crimping a large number of future-proof adapters. Yeah, yay for standards. Thanks for helping the past. Cheers. So on Windows 10, you got more control. I sent it to back €3,000. What? Okay. End of life Windows 10. It's 2025. I'll probably do what I did. Like, I stuck with Windows 7 until like, I stuck with Windows 7 until pretty late. Like pretty much as soon as they're like, yeah, this is the last service patch or whatever, then I switch over. Because you can just upgrade within the OS. You don't have to reinstall. So I'll probably just install Windows 10, and then if I ever run into like, okay, you need Windows 11 now, then I'll just do it. So I'll probably end up doing that. And for some reason, I lost stream. Where'd the stream go? Am I live? Live? Uh-oh, where'd the stream go? Refresh. Oh, there you are there. There we go. No, the Bambu. Okay, so the P1P is pretty much, I use it for PLA, PETG, which I'm actually out of PETG. I need to buy PETG. I know, that's weird. I need to buy a spool. I need PETG. The other Hydra AMS mod, because I got to do my other AMS and do a Hydra as well. I want to try it in PETG instead of PLA. So yeah, I need to do that. But the P1P is my PLA, PETG, and flexible machine. So I've like right now I've got like TPU ready to go. Oh, now the screen went to sleep. Wow, that took a long time for that screen to go to sleep. David for a palette of PETG. Yeah, I don't have any Jesse PETG. I only have Jesse PLA. David! Oh no, one of the Kirby's lost his arm. Oh well. I'm not going to restart. Have I tried Soft Fever? I have not yet. I got to do that. Hold on. Dr. DOS. What is Dr. DOS? Does the Bambu have cancel object? It does not. It does not. It doesn't have enough power for that. Yeah, Soft Fever is pretty solid because from my understanding, all it does is just take all the stuff they removed out of Prusa Slicer and put it back in and change the UI. From my understanding, that's pretty much what it is. Because remember, Bambu Slicer is built on Prusa Slicer. They took Prusa Slicer, they modded it to make their version. They added a few things, but it's the underlying hardware or control is Prusa Slicer. And SoftViewer just takes all the stuff they took out and put it back in. So, and calibration tools, yeah. But like, Super Slicer has calibration tools built in too. 15 minutes of sleep on the screen. That's a little too long in my opinion, but I don't care. The plates, yeah, it being able to generate multiple plates is nice. That's something I didn't realize was like something I'd like until I had it. Was a better version of MS-DOS. Oh, geez. I used to have an old ThinkPad that ran DOS. I think I eventually upgraded that to Windows like 3.1, and I played Doom on it. Voron gantry parts and TPU. JRW, $5, cheers. If you think just doing a gantry and TPU is dumb, who here is going to Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest? You're going to see something even dumber. And it's awesome. Yep, that Kirby lost his arm. I just want to be able to see that it's actually printing something. Are we up high enough yet? Soon. Oh, coming up, coming up. Not yet. Ah. Well, so here's the thing. You can just normally, like if you run into this, you could just pause it. And when you pause it, it'll come up high enough you can see. So what I used to do is just let it go a couple layers and then just pause the print. It'll come up and then you can see if something's actually stuck to the bed. There. Yeah, Super Slicer, I think there's been an update. I don't know when the last update was with Super Slicer. I think it's just one guy working on it pretty much, so. It trails a little bit, unfortunately. Is what it is. Is what it is. Okay, so the one Kirby's gonna have a defective arm. Oh well. Pausing leaves a nasty line. Yeah, that's why I usually do it right at the beginning. Last update was September. There you go. Here's the thing. If it was good in September, it's still good now. It just doesn't have all the Gucci new stuff. Have a P1P in my cart, but V02 prints parted out. Which would I choose? Well, if you need a printer that's bigger than 120 millimeters cubed, go with the P1P. Have I looked? H C K X. Look at that go. Look at that. Look at that go. It's so exciting. Resin, it's so exciting. Oh. Am I planning to clipperize the SV06 Plus? Nope. I'm going to leave it stock. Because I'm probably going to give it away at some point, honestly. Testing P1P enclosed. Well, Dirk, it would just be the same as an X1 at that point. I just love how everyone unboxed theirs at like the same time. Yeah, you have to compile it for can't you just like one person compile it and then share it? Or I don't know how Linux works with that. I don't know. I use Linux Mint, so I just download everything from the App Store in there when I'm doing stuff. How much fan should I run on my PCCF? Not a lot. Depends on the geometry of what you're doing and how the parts are looking. Thanks for all the stream. Just got my second Voron and a switch wire working today. Awesome possum. Is a Manta 8 enough to build all Vorons? Yep. Well, technically you could, well, it could do one Voron, but it could do any one of the Vorons. Yeah. Why wouldn't it? The most drivers you need is 7. So anything that could do 7 drivers could do a V2. And all that's, so yeah, it could do all of them. A little overkill for a V0 though. What are we at right now? Anyways, we're almost at 4. Make sure you, if you haven't yet, make sure you enter to win some filament from Polymaker. Link in the description. Because we give away a spool every stream. So, I don't think this has, it's got a little notch back here. But I don't know what this little notch is for. Because normally these yell at you when you take the lid off, and I don't think this one has like a pause feature. Nope. Nope, it doesn't. So that's kind of odd, because even like my older Photon Mono 2K had that, where it would pause if you took the lid off, and this one doesn't seem to have that. So I don't know if they just got rid of that over time or what. Worst Jack in the Box. Oh, we're almost going to be able to see if it's actually doing anything. For clear time lapses? Not really, because all you do is like on my SVO or on my the Anycubic 2K, or no, on my wash and cure station, all you do is stick a piece of tape over it, and it'll allow you to take it off. Well, see, I got the cool glasses that automatically tint when they get exposed to UV, so. So what I can do, there, actually, let me put you somewhere that's not going to fall down. Here, cool. So now you got the cool Taylor. See, they auto tint. They got the transitions, or what they're called. So see, now I'm safe from all the rays. Stream just got cooler. And now everything's dark. Channel future is so bright he needs to wear shades. Oh, is there something on the bed? Oh, dang it! It's almost there. I got some real ZZ top. Yes, of course. Why would there be McDonald's in Canada? It's the first time I've had McDonald's in ages. I had to run out and do some errands this morning. I'm like, I need something for lunch because I haven't eaten anything yet and I'm starving. Aw. Well, it says we're doing stuff. We're doing a triangle now. There's McDonald's everywhere. Exactly. So what else do we get? We got screen protector accessories. What's in here? Oh. A dust absorber. And a microfiber cloth. That is the best microfiber cloth ever. I'm going to use that to clean my cool glasses. Clean my cool glasses right now. And freaking NVIDIA drivers, because otherwise... Right now, my main computer is AMD. I've got a 5700 XT that I got on my computer. And I bought that March 2020 before everything went to shit. So yeah, but I'm having issues. I don't know what's going on. You'll see it in the stream tomorrow or in the video tomorrow. When I render out a video, it will just randomly render out a couple frames. Sometimes it's just like one frame. Sometimes it's like a second or two, just black. Audio's still there, it'll just black. And I don't know what's going on. So I'm hoping when I completely redo my computer upstairs, that just goes away. New because new Windows install, new motherboard, new CPU. Hopefully it just goes away. But I don't know why it's doing it. It's just doing it all of a sudden. It's super annoying. So, but it's a 5700. When I do play games, my monitor is 1080p, so it's good enough. What editing? DaVinci. Change your HDMI or display port cable, dude. How does that have to do with a rendered out video? It's a video. It's a rendered file. Like after I upload it to you, like the cable won't have anything to do with that. No, it's a 5700. I have a 5700 XT, not a 6700. Pulling my mouse. How is it pulling? It's what? How does the computer does that? Because it's in the rendered file. Because here's the thing: when I watch the timeline in DaVinci and the raw footage, it doesn't have them. But after it renders out the video, it's like, here's a couple black frames for you. How much DDR in the board? 32 gigs. And it's an 8 gig graphics card. And also it does it when I render the video in both CPU encoding and video card encoding. Read your message. Well, where's your message? I don't see no message. Oh, and any disadvantage of running P1P on ludicrous mode? I don't know. Your print quality goes down and the machine becomes louder. If you're okay with the color, if you're okay with how the print looks, go for it. I'm not your mom. I'm not the person living in the room above you. Some driver versions with H.265. I've tried, here's the thing, I've tried H.265, I've tried H.264, I've tried updating my drivers, I've tried, if you're on the Discord last week, we went through a whole thing about it for last week's video. So I'm just hoping when I upgrade everything, it just magically goes away. Different computer. Okay, so here's the thing. I've tried installing DaVinci on this computer, but when I go to render the video, it takes like forever. Like it's like weird. It just doesn't render on this computer. So I don't know. Render in MS Paint. What I did in this week's video, it's like 2 parts and it's like 1 frame of black. So I just left it and said screw it. So go watch today. If you're a YouTube member or Patreon supporter, go watch tomorrow's video. It's already out. But last video I did, it did it for like 2 to 3 seconds at a time, like 5 times throughout the video. So I could not get it to go away because it was random. It would change every time I re-rendered it. So I rendered out the entire video. I pulled the whole video back into DaVinci, and then I just rendered out the scenes individually that had blank frames, and then I edited the two together. Yeah, that was annoying. Nope, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Oh, the Mad Dog, is it just me or the modes on the Bambu gimmick? They are. They're a complete gimmick. All they are is 50, 100, 150, 200%. That's it. And like Bambu, they're limited. You can't do 75% speed. You're limited to 50, 100%, 150, and 200. Just like when you move around the printer, when you're trying to move around the tool head, you can only move in 10mm increments on the XY. You can't move more accurate than that or bigger than that. That's all they give you, because that's how they want you to do it. So if you want to print at 75% speed, you can't. So same camera. No, different camera this time. I'm just assuming I got a bad driver or something up on the computer upstairs. That's why I'm also blanking it and restarting. So use the Pro Edition of the driver, but I also game on the computer. I don't want to install two drivers. And it's a Radeon. I think there's only one version of the driver. I'm just assuming, because that computer has had Windows on it for like, it's like a 4-year-old Windows install. And it's been through some stuff, so I'm just assuming something's messed up on it. Install Clipper on the Bambu, you can't. The Bambu is wholly incompatible with Clipper. Could those speeds are optimized? Maybe, I don't know. There's no way to tell. Change the Windows key? Why would I change the Windows key? I have Pro keys on them. Oh, part popped off the bed. That ain't good. I gotta stop the print. Really, it shot a piece of Kirby out the door. Okay, let's stop this print. OG Kid, thank you for becoming a member. OGK Kid, sorry. Don't try Windows 11, it kind of sucks. Yeah, I'm probably gonna stick with 2.2 or Windows 10. And then at some point, just hit the upgrade. Because also, that computer originally had Windows 7 on it, and then I upgraded within the computer to Windows 10. So that may also have something to do with it. Why do you do the purge line at the back? That's the dumbest thing. Can I just reprint? No, you can't. It's a Bambu. Kernel. There we go. I don't want to use bed level or flow calibration. Print now. Try again. Cool. Try again. Convert the duet. Well, that's the thing. You'd have to replace the controller and the tool head board, because the tool head board is also incompatible. What gives the best precision to print ABS if you have enough time? Big gear. It doesn't really matter because you have micro stepping, so you can also micro step it at different. Like the GT20, like the 20-tooth gear that we use is pretty much like good enough for pretty much everything. No, there's no, how, that thing doesn't have enough power for exclude object. Can't do that. Gutting the electronics. That would be really dumb though, because remember, hardware wise, there's nothing special about the Bambu. It's a Core XY machine with NEMA 17s and a high flow hotend and 5015 part fan with a leaf blower strapped on the side. There's absolutely nothing hardware wise that's special about this machine. Even firmware. Clipper does everything this firmware does, except for the LiDAR, which doesn't really do much. The thing that makes this machine special is that it's $1,000 out of the box, and you don't have to build it. That's what makes this machine special. And now I got parts of Kirby all over the bottom. How's the P1P? P1P is fine, although I'm getting really not great vertical surfaces. See the wavies? I see our group. Well, with you usually have bigger gearing on the extruder, so you have more accuracy with the extruder. But when it comes to the XY motion, you're probably not going to notice much of a difference. It's like you can go from 16 microstep to 32 and double your resolution, and you're really not going to notice it on most prints. But the thing is, okay, so the thing that's starting to crop up with these machines is people are having QC issues with them. Go check out any of the community groups about them. There's all kinds of weird little QC issues, and their service is kind of not great. But to be fair, I think they kind of exploded way faster than they thought they would. So they might just be overstretched for a company of, you know, expected size. Oh, did you see? Did you see the print? Did you see the print? Did you see? Did you see? It's stuck to the bed. Look, look, look. Huge demand and why? Because anyone could have came out with this machine, but they did. That's why. I mean, it helps when you have DJI venture capital that allows you to invest into the tooling of everything to make this machine before you sell any of the machines. And then also sell them at not a great profit, so you can sell them at a price lower than anyone else can sell a machine of comparable type. But it is what it is. Prusa is doomed? Hell no. OGK Kid, why would Prusa be doomed? Why would Prusa be doomed? I love everyone spelling out the downfall of Prusa because there's a machine that is fast on the market. It doesn't print any better than any of my other machines. It just, for an off-the-shelf machine, it prints fast. Yeah, no, they haven't fully switched markets. They've expanded into other markets. They have a very successful line of filament. Prusa Slicer is now one of, if not the best slicer on the market. So they've got their name out there in that regard. They've got the Prusa Mini for your DIYers and the Mark III, which is going to get an update the moment the XL comes out. Because guess what? Everything on the XL can be backported to the Prusa Mark III platform and make a Mark IV. And then, oh great, they could sell to businesses, education, and government in the US. There's a shit ton of contracts there. Because when you're a company and you're like, we need to buy printers from a company that has a cage code. Well, we could buy one Ultimaker S7 for like $9 grand US, or we can buy 9 Prusa Mark IIIs. Or your school board. Or whatever. Because guess what? Yeah, Bambu will never get those contracts. I mean, DJI is outright banned by the Department of Defense for security reasons in the States. And with the connections that Bambu has with DJI, considering it's founded by all ex-DJI employees, not to mention its cloud requirements. If you worked for Fords and you were, you know, working on printing, you were developing stuff for cars, and you were rapid prototyping fan ducts and whatnot, and it was all under NDA, that goes through the cloud. You don't want cloud connection on potentially undercover stuff. But it's really good for people at home that want a machine that prints fast, and they want one machine that prints fast, and they're okay with loud noises. Yeah, they have certs. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people think that the at-home DIY 3D printer market is the market. That market is dead. It's not growing. The at-home 3D printer that everyone was going to have one day never happened. Yeah, it's still growing, but I think it's kind of And we've seen that the pandemic was the most growth we'll probably ever see in at-home 3D printing, and that's over. People are going back to work. People don't have all the free time and money for these kind of hobbies. So you're starting to see the amount of growth of at-home 3D printing probably start to keel over. So the market is maturing, and we're probably at near the cap of it. But there's other markets, and it's those that capitalize on the other markets that will succeed. So yes, Prusa being fully centered on making a machine just for you isn't really their thing anymore. No matter how many times a YouTuber makes a video about it crying that, oh, they don't make computers for me, they don't make printers for me. Well, so do a lot of companies. Companies change. They don't owe you anything. They're a company. It's a company. LTT isn't just Linus sitting in his garage unboxing computer cases anymore. They're a multi-million-dollar company with 100+ employees in multiple facilities. Like, things change. Adapt or die. So, like, yes, the Mark III is overpriced. It's a 5-year-old machine, but it's still the same 5-year-old machine. I mean, they could pull a page out of Ender's or Creality's notebook and just shit out a completely different machine every 3 months. It's the same machine with different parts on it, but is it really a different machine? Not really. They could do the BigTreeTech thing where, you know, instead of waiting to get guaranteed supply of components, they just come out with a new controller board every 3 months as supply changes. But then, you know, we got 8 revisions of the toolhead board because the second revision catches fire. And the fourth revision has a different MCU than the first revision, but it's the same as the third revision. Like, they know what they're doing. So let's watch the Anycubic printer print. You got the SV06. The SV06 really nice. It's a very good bang. It's probably the best bang for your buck printer, in my opinion. If there was like, what is your, if you ask me right now, what is your printer of the year for 2022? I would say the SV06, because it's probably the best bang for your buck printer out there. P1P is second. X1C is probably third. Although, to be fair, is the P1P and the X1 even different machines? Like, the P1P is an X1 with half the stuff left at the factory floor with a shitty screen on it. Nice 3DP support from Belgium, $2. Cheers. SV06 Plus. I gotta print more with it. I've only printed like a couple things on it, and it prints as fine as the SV06. It's just bigger. BigTreeTech does amazing. Don't hate. Colton, tell that to the guy whose computer burnt down because their second revision of the EBB toolhead board puts the heater on in DFU mode, but not the first or the third revision. My problem with BigTreeTech is they have a lot of problems like Creality. Yes, their hardware is good when it's good, but usually that takes a couple revisions, and I don't believe the consumer should be a beta tester. They put a lot of stuff out that they find issues with after it's on the market. So their hardware, when it works, is good. Don't get me wrong. That has an Octopus board. That has an Octopus board. I've got Octopus boards in a bunch of my machines. The Manta's in a few. Like, when they make stuff that is good, it's good. The problem is they have a habit of not making good stuff that has issues. And I think they rely too much on the consumer to be a beta tester. That's kind of my problem with BigTreeTech. Like when it comes to like consumer boards out there, they're probably one of the better ones. They make really good boards when they make really good boards. But sometimes it takes a couple revisions and stuff that consumers should not be finding out, like, hey, when we put your board in flash mode, it turns the heater on automatically, and there's nothing I could do to stop that. Yeah, why are consumers finding that? Why didn't you find that out in testing? Because you put out a revision to fix that right away after people had bought it and people's printers have caught fire. So that's my problem with BigTreeTech, is they need to fix their QC game. So until they do, and I see they do, I've actually turned down a few requests from them lately to check out components, because I'm like, I'm not going to promote something that I don't know if it works or is safe, because I'm not an engineer, electrical engineer. I don't have the tools to test something properly for that in that way. So Bellador, yes, there's still shenanigans going on with that too. Like I've built 2 printers with CB1s and both of them have given me issues. Oh, we got stuff on the bed. Get on the CAN bus. I did do the CAN bus, and I did it with the BigTreeTech board. It was shit. And I'm still having connection issues with it, where it just drops connection mid-print. P1P X1 has an AC bed. How many watts? No idea. I don't think it's labeled anywhere, and I'm not taking the bed apart to find out because it's all in a plastic shell. But it is mains, because these printers only have like a 100-watt power supply. They have a built-in SSR for the bed, I believe. The bed takes a while to heat up, and it's not even metal. Here's the thing, and I know somebody's probably posting about this on a Discord somewhere. I'm not shitting on your company. I just want them to make better things. Like, what, I think it was the Bambu Facebook group. All I do is shit on Bambu. Yes, I absolutely hate these machines. These are horrible machines. They should not exist. Well, I just filmed a video on one yesterday that's coming out tomorrow, and I'm actively using it right now to print toys for my kid. Yeah, I really hate these machines. Go watch Grant's video. I linked it in my community page on YouTube. Go watch Grant's video. It's a good video. Not mad, I'm just disappointed. Exactly. It's good, but it could be better. Apron chill. Oh, I am an apron chill. Thoughts on King Rune? The only King Rune I've used, oh, actually I have a KP5. I keep forgetting I have a KP5. I gotta give that away. I have a KP3S. I like the KP3S. I think it's a very good, if you are looking for a cheap entry-level printer, I like the KP3S. Once you start getting to the point of the KP5 though, get a Saval. That's the problem. I like, the only printer of theirs I can really say go for is their really entry-level one. Because the Saval SV06 exists, and it is good. So it's very hard to recommend other printers in that category as the SV06 right now, because the SV06 exists and it's good. So is tap on a Tridex possible? It's possible on a Trident, so it should be fine on a Tridex. Actually, I don't know. You'd have to talk to Eddie if tap is compatible on the Tridex. I'm assuming it is. Isn't so good. Stock had to put clipper on it plus new hot end. OGK Kid, another problem with cheap printers, you're the QC. That's the problem with the cheap ones. That's why right now my current, if you come up to me, hey, I need to buy a printer, I'm cheap, go buy an SV06. I'm cheaper than that. Wait a week and save another paycheck. Why people, that is my biggest thing. You're not on their payroll. Like, okay, I fanboy for Voron, okay? I speak highly of Voron. I am on the Voron team, Okay, I'm an admin on the Discord. I am on the Voron team, although I don't know what I even do anymore, but I technically am. So I have a vested interest in Voron. I have a stake in Voron. You know, it's completely free and I don't make money off of it. Nobody does. We all lose money on Voron. But I have a vested interest in Voron. So it makes sense when I kind of, you know, have a bias towards Voron. Little Timmy, who goes on the random printer Facebook group and screams bloody murder because a YouTuber had a problem with it during a live stream and said they don't like it, and they're now the devil. Why? Are you being paid? Are you on the payroll? Are you involved with the company? All you did was give them money. I wish people paid me to defend me. Like, I don't get it. Like, is it a sunk cost fallacy thing? Like, I spent money on this, therefore for me to be secure in my purchase, I need to actively defend it against those that think it's not the perfect machine? I don't know. OGK Kid, I'm gonna disagree. Watching his experience with it, and you know, after speaking to him at events in the past and his background and expertise in certain things, yeah, no, I'd be saying pretty much the same thing as him. I need to start a cult. I'm already in the Voron cult. We already have Rose. Why do I need to be in 2 cults? I'm on Voron. I'm already in a cult. Why not 40-20 for the hot end instead of 40-10 in the stealth burner? In the stealth burner, it's 50-15. There is no 40-10 or 40-20 anymore. We got rid of that with Afterburner. It's like Sports Team. Oh my God. Car Facebook groups. If anyone ever says the 3D printing community is bad, go on a car Facebook group. Spartanol 25, cheers. I just got a Prusa Mark III S clone from Physec. Oh boy, is it worth everything. Only upgrade I've done is the Dragonfly BMO, and it's amazing. Just hit print and go. There you go. I have the mini clone from them, and the issue I had was the extruder. Other than the extruder, it worked fine. Part cooling fan. The part cooling fan is a 50-15 on the stealth burner. It's a 40-10 for the hot end cooling fan, and then it's a 50-15 for the part cooling fan. Oh, 40-10, because the 40-10 is fine. 40-10 is fine enough, and it's... You would also, if you make the 40-10 anything bigger, you lose that much dimension in the Y. Is it easier to build the smaller one? No, the V0 one is probably the more complicated of the Voron builds, because you have to really follow the manual in order of operation, and it's really small, and you got lots of pre-install nuts, which are annoying. The easiest Voron to build is probably the switch wire, and then in my opinion, switch wire, Trident, V2, V0, and Legacy. Legacy's at the bottom because the Legacy doesn't have a manual. So for some people, they may have a problem with that. Can you remove the V6 mount on a Dragonfly? Yes. Yes, you can. It screws in. Just checking here, a bunch of pings. Okay. 3D printing pew pew groups. I've only interacted with a few of them on Twitter. So 3D print general, I think Control Pew maybe a few times. And those folks have been fine. The problem is, I think the problem with the 3D now, I'm not in any of those groups because it would be like me joining a Corvette group. I don't own a Corvette. I have no plans to own a Corvette. So I'm not going to join a Corvette group. I'm in Canada, so those groups, basically, I'd be like looking out the window at something I want that I can never have. So there's no point in me joining those groups. But I could see it because there's a certain type of person that's really into 2A in the States. And I think it just kind of attracts those kind of people with very strong beliefs. And when you have a bunch of people with very strong beliefs, so I'm thinking it kind of strains from that. Because the people I've interacted with on Twitter about the whole 3D pew pew stuff are fine. So, I don't know. Do you have anything that can print Peak if you wanted to? Well, Bellador, glad you asked, because we've tried printing Peak. We might try again in the future, actually. And hopefully the front doesn't fall off this time. Because that's what happened last time. The front fell off. There's a video on YouTube about it. I mean, technically partial of Voron. Of the printers that are visible in the camera right now, except we're not counting the Anycubic, because that's, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this one's gonna go there. So don't count the V0 because it's not built yet, and it's there because I needed to put it somewhere. So we got 8 printers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 of my printers are Vorons. 2 are Bambus and 1's a Resin for in-view printers. And to be fair, these are the ones I use. These 5. So 2/3 or 2/5 of all the printers that I use regularly are Bambus. So I'm a Creality shill. I wish I was a shill for somebody, because then they would pay me. Did I tow it out of the environment? Yes. But it wasn't supposed to happen. Thoughts on Rook? I'll let you know when I build one. Whenever the kit shows up. It looks like a fun little printer for those that want to try building a printer for the first time. Shills for Voron. Voron, regardless of what some people think, Voron does not make money. Yeah, for a Prusa shill. I don't even have a Prusa in the room. They're in the storage room. They're in the storage room. What do you think of the NXK3? I'll let you know when I build one. Old Vorons have double rails on the X, newer, why not? Because we don't need them anymore. The reason the original version of the V2 and the V1.8 had dual MGN9s on the X was before that, we only had one MGN9, but we were bowed. Going to direct feed is extra weight on the tool head, and a lot of the rails that we used back then were kind of sloppy, so we added an extra MGN9 to basically counteract the slop on the rail. But now rails are better, and also we just switched to a single MGN12 with a redesign. So now it's just a single MGN12, which is rigid enough. What about Anchor? I'm not 100% sure what Anchor is, so... Is that the extruder that sits right on top? This is a 3D printing shill channel. Hey, I could go grab the CNC if we want to do something different. Any concerns about VOCs? Probably. But I'm also a person that believes in exposure takes time. Like, yes, this is bad for you, but it depends how long you're exposed to it. It takes time for exposure. Bananas give you radiation. Bananas give off radiation, but you need to be around a lot of bananas for a long time to get actually any dosage of radiation that matters. Try high temperature? No, people have tried it before and it's failed, so I'm not going to try it. Because I'm not going to rebuild one of my machines for no reason. MP-CNC or Print NC? I don't have either. If I were to go with one, I'd say Print NC. MP-CNC, I think it's too limiting for a CNC. CNC, you want beefcake. And MP-CNC, I don't think has enough beefcake. So. I don't know what to do with my dumb truck full of bananas now. Drive it through a border and let all the radiation detectors go off. Where are you buying a banana? Crow, do you not know that bananas give off radiation? Bananas are actually like one of the most radioactive foods there are. There's potassium in them. Now, granted, it's all about exposure limits though. And bananas give out a absolute little amount of radiation. What was it? If you were standing outside of 3 Mile Island during the whole meltdown that they had there back in whenever that was, you got exposed to as much radiation from standing outside the front gate as you would just go eating 3 bananas. That's how little exposure radiation was actually given off by 3 Mile outside. I'm trying to scroll up here. Somebody talk about beacon. See, this is the problem. When somebody like responds to somebody and I try to find the original question, I'm like, what? Banana is still less radioactive than standing next to him. Yeah, did you know that coal mining puts more radiation into the air than actually nuclear power plants? Well, coal mining and then burning the coal, if I'm not mistaken. Did you grab beacon? I did not. Because I wouldn't put it on any of my machines. Beacon is really cool. I'm not trying to down talk beacon, but it needs clipper and it has the same limitations as an inductive probe. So you're not measuring the actual print surface like tap does or clicky. So both this machine and this machine are tap. That one's clicky. So these ones measure the actual print surface. The beacon probe only measures the metal underneath your print surface because it only works on metal. And you need clipper, and it's really fast though. And you can do a really big mesh if you want. It just, if I had one, it would just be to show you how to install it and set it up, and then that would basically be it. How does tap work? How does tap work? How does tap work? Like this. Boop. I really got to speed up my homing speed on this machine. It's so slow. But I've left it at default settings since forever. So I have a video on my channel about tap. So go watch it if you want to know more. But basically the nozzle is the probe and the entire tool head is actually riding on a rail and allows it to pivot in the vertical axis to trigger. And then also there are magnets to stabilize it when it's not being used as tap. So. For someone slinging with a Mark III with MMUS in 2021, what upgrade would you suggest? I got a box to print ABS in if that helps. For your Prusa, I would just leave it. Revo has issues with Prusa right now, so I don't know. It's work. Here's the thing: if it ain't broke, it ain't broke. And if you're gonna enclose it, reprint your parts in ABS. Yeah, if you're printing on steel or thin PI on top, then yeah. What is the worst filament I ever used? I still have it. Let me grab it for you. MG Chemicals Gray ABS. Batch code 16L0487C. On my series, How to Print ABS, the first thing I say is do not go on Amazon and buy the cheapest spool of ABS you can because you want to try ABS and see if you can print it. So you went and bought the cheapest one because you don't want to invest money. Say hello to the cheapest spool of ABS at the time. It stinks, and the prints look like ass. And you can flick them, and they fall apart because the layer adhesion is so piss poor. Why do I still have it? I don't know, but I still have it. Uh, 3D Solutech PLA is bad. I've heard bad things about it too. Because here's the thing, remember, filament manufacturers don't make their plastic. Even Prusa buys the resin from somebody else and then they extrude it into filament. So they get a big old bag of pellets, that's the raw resin. They add colorant to it, mix it together, and that gives them the color or other stuff. And then they extrude it into a filament. They make the spaghetti. They're not grinding the flour, okay? So a lot of the cheap, shitty ABS out there is made with resin that is meant for injection molding or some other use case. Whereas ASA and PLA, you can find a lot of resin that's meant specifically to turn into filament. And there's also ABS resin that is meant for filament too. But there's also a lot of shitty, cheap ABS out there that bad manufacturers use to make shitty filament. It's cheap. Wrong button. Polymaker makes good ABS. They make really good ABS. And guess what? If you win the drawing at the end of the stream in half an hour, you can get some, or you can just buy it. There's a link in the description. It's an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps me out. So if you want to buy some good ABS or ASA or any of the other good filaments they got, go check them out. Link in the description. What hot ends do I use? Revo, XG hot end, Mosquito, Rapido, Revo, that has a dragon. That one has a Revo. That has a V6. That's gonna have a Rapido. And the other ones I think is a dragon. Favorite filament? It depends on what I'm doing. For projects, I really like Replatech ABS. They're a Canadian filament maker. They're literally, I can drive to their place and I've driven there to pick up filament. They use MG94 for their ABS. So made in Canada, MG94 resin ABS from Replatech. And they come on these big fat spools. 600 meters of filament in a spool. But the Polymaker ABS is really good too. The V02 is all Polymaker. The playlist today is Stream Beats. I think it's the EDM track. Yeah, it's the EDM track on Stream Beats. Am I happy with it? Yeah. I have it installed in the Trident. It works just fine. Here's the thing. There's a lot of things in 3D printing now that are just good. Is it the best? No, but guess what? It's good enough. And for a lot of things that we use nowadays in 3D printing, good enough is good enough. It's got proprietary nozzles, which are kind of a pain. So I only have a 0.4 in there, and that's the only nozzle size I got for it. It's probably the only one I'll ever get. But it's higher flow than a V6. It's not quite high flow, but it's higher flow. I don't know, it works fine. So I really like the mounting options on it. The XG hot end has a bunch of really good mounting options because it's got holes all over it, drilled and tapped holes on the frame, and it's rigid mount, but it dances around Mosquito Slice's patent. So good enough for the G. Oh god, I refuse to touch G-Tech. They email me like once every couple months, and I'm like, your printers are nothing special. And you ripped off Chep's probe. So no. Like, is there any G-Tech printers that are special? Let me pull up G-Tech. Let me pull up. There's so many 3D printing companies, I don't know how they manage to exist. Okay, so we have an Ender 3, an Ender 3, an Ender 3, and a CR10. And an Ender 3, and an Ender C, and an Ender 3, and an Ender 3. and an Ender 3 and an Ender 3 and an Ender 3 and a CR10 and a CR10 Max and whatever the hell this is, which is like, ugh. How do they exist? Who's buying these printers? Why would you buy any of those? When the why would you buy this one over an SV06? It's $20 cheaper than an SV06. Why would you buy this over an SV06? Right here, this is their cheapest one, the Mizar, which is an Ender 3. They're all Ender 3s. Old MakerBot. I don't even think that's talking down on MakerBot. Like, why would you buy any of those? How good are SLA printers or FDM just better? Are you talking like resin? They're completely different beasts. FDM and SLA is completely different beasts for different use cases. $20 cheaper. If $20 is that important to you, how good is good? Good is good. Well, it's looking like a lattice cube. Also, resin is a complete pain to work with. What Chep thing? Okay, so Chep, for those who don't know who Chep is, Chuck Hellebuck's Electronic Products. Let me Chep board. Okay. So yeah, so for those who don't know what CHEP stands for, by the way, Chuck Hellebuck's Electronic Products or Projects. That's what CHEP stands for. So he came out with this little probe. It's simple. So instead of using a piece of paper, all it is a compression switch with a little light LED. So when your nozzle comes down and it touches that, it blinks. That's all it is. It's super simple. Anyone can make it, but it helps you with bed leveling. And for a lot of people who, you know, it helps them, right? Some people have problems with bed leveling. For some people, this is a good option. They basically just cloned it and gave no attribution and started selling a version of it. So he's tall too. Yeah. Yeah, I met him at the last three of, or was he at Earth? I seen him at Murph, and he was also at Detroit TCT last year. Which printer? Probably my Vorons. Marcus, it's more the idea behind it. It's anyone can make it. There's nothing special about it. Anyone can make it, but not everyone makes it. Not everyone made one. But if you want one, you can buy one from him. It supports his channel. There's a lot of things you can buy or make yourself that's cheaper than buying. But sometimes you buy it to support people, or you just don't want to make one. So if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. Am I going to Forum next? No. Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest, Earth or Murph. I'm trying to remember the order. No, Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest, Chicago TCT, Chicago Rapid TCT, Midwest Rep Rap Fest, East Coast Rep Rap Fest, hopefully Smurf. That's the plan for this year. I need to get sponsors for these though, because travel is not cheap, especially when you're crossing borders and flying. So if anyone here runs a company and they want to help sponsor some events that I'm going to, DM me. But Formnext is in Europe, isn't it? So that's kind of a no. Would you build a positron? When I get the kit, I will. But until I get the kit, no. Yeah, I haven't bought a ticket for Smurf yet, because that's kind of a long shot for me, because it's not cheap to fly over there, and there's a bunch of stuff. That I'm waiting on. What is the sensor and tap? It depends. I'm using, where are they? Where are they? Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. These guys, these are optical sensors. So these are the optical sensor PCB. These are the LDO ones. Weren't I going? I talked to the guy a while ago, and then I haven't heard anything since. So, turn out the SV06 extruder yet? No, it's working just fine on the SV06. Yeah, Formnex is in Germany. Yeah, that's unfortunately not happening. I live in Canada. Flying from Canada to anywhere is expensive. Flying in Canada is expensive. Luckily, I could hop over to Detroit, but while my channel is enough to keep me full-time YouTube as it is right now, that kind of stuff isn't in the budget. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell. You like mag beds? Yeah, I've got flex plates on all my printers. But here's the thing, if I can only go to one, I'm going to Smurf, because the E3D folks are awesome. ETA on the test print? I don't know. Oh shit, we're only at like 50%. Yeah, it's gonna finish after the stream ends. I could go by boat. I don't think boat travel is as economical as it used to be for crossing the Atlantic. So. You mentioned large format Corx-Y is challenging because of weight. Weight and, well, not so much weight as belt length too. Kenneth, I'll give away a Voron. How's that? I'm not shaving the beard, but we'll give away a Voron. How's that? I got a Voron to give away still. New Voron stuff. It's been a while since the stealth burner. I don't know. Maybe at one of the events this year we'll show something off. Maybe we won't. I don't know. I don't control that. It looks like Calvin with an apron. Oh, come on. I don't look that. Here's the thing. You guys have never seen me clean shaven. I used to trim like I would buzz it down to like a number 5 once a week. You guys have never seen me clean shaven. Ugh. And I haven't been clean shaving since I quit the army in like 2014. So a blade has not touched this face in a long time. Voron shower open beta. Oh, embedded magnet beds. I have one actually for the rat rig. Other than that, not really, because I haven't had any issues with the stick-on magnets. Here's the thing, Voron doesn't have any set release schedule or anything like that. It's just kind of when somebody comes up with something and it comes out, it comes out. There's no like really set schedule for this kind of stuff. It just, Voron's not a company. It's just a bunch of people designing stuff for fun, and when they think something's done, they'll put it out. Not too late. Hey, you got time to enter, Crystal. Almost there. What am I doing for dinner? I think I have some, what do I have? I think I have some like Stir fry steak meat. Need some bacon, steak, and cheese wraps. Sound good. Might do some bacon, steak, and cheese wraps. Yeah, I might do that. Might do that. I don't know, I gotta figure it out. We got 20 minutes, 20 minutes. Will Clockwork on a V2.4 work okay with flexible? It'll work okay. Clockwork 2 works okay or more okay. Reveal the drone printer. Like here, I'll let you in on a little secret, okay? When it comes to like the Voron drone printer, stuff's always being worked on, and sometimes like stuff is in like early beta phases at points, and sometimes it's further along than you think. But as it is right now, while I stall to make this joke happen, the Voron drone printer is kind of running into a few snags. It is actively being worked on. I have a prototype here in front of me, but it's one of those things that like it's a little rough around the edges. The thinking behind it is sound, but it needs a little bit more time in the oven for it to be viable. And it's mostly an issue to do with like logistics. So like you think it's value, you think it'll work as is, but then you run into problems. So it may not be quite there, but it's getting there. The biggest issue right now, I think, is the mounting solution. The current prototype is like viable, but it's like minimum viable. But like we're getting there. As you can see, we've got the Revo mounted, because of course it's a Revo. The issue is the filament feed pass, because as you see, it goes through the control board. So that's the issue we're having, because it has to be in the middle for balance. Now, the spool drone, though, is the problem, because as it is right now, there's not enough room to actually support the spool. So as it is right now, the current thinking is we actually just have a second drone fly above it with the spool. And then we actually have a mini drone in between with the extruder mounted. So we have the spool drone, the extruder drone, and then we have the hot end drone. And they fly in sequence. So we have to actually, we're working on the AI for that. For optimization, because as you print, the spool drone gets lighter, so it has to compensate for that. So there's that. And then of course, as you know, we also have this one's red, so it stands out, but this is the part cooling. So this drone just kind of orbits, blowing cool air on the print as you print. So we're getting there. We're getting there. It's the idea is sound. It's just, you know, we got a few kinks to work out. So it'll be there. It'll be there. The bed level drone? Well, that's an RC car. The bed level is done with an RC car, though. We don't need a drone for that. That's overkill. Somebody will take it serious. I mean, people think, I've had people DM me thinking that IKEA did invent the Allen keys, so. The Voron drone have tap? No, all the drones have accelerometers built into it, so it just detects the collision. And they all have STM32, so they're already running Clipper. I've seen the actual drone printer. Yes, and I think it's stupid. This drone right here is my drone with the longest flight time. 8 minutes. 8 to 10 minutes, depending on how I'm flying and how the wind is. You can't print anything in that time. Like, drones have... The FPV drones don't have great loiter times. You have you're relying entirely on motors to power. There's no lift from wings. You have 4 motors screaming or more to power it. And then you're limited by weight. What are you printing with a drone that makes it economical and makes sense? What are you actually printing with a drone that actually makes sense, instead of just having some guy go out there with some cinder blocks, go bup, 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 bup. That took less time. Like, it's a trade show thing. It's not an actual viable thing. Like, every time, oh my God, we're gonna print homes. They're building a subdivision by my kid's school. On a Monday, when I go to drop them off at school, I will see a bare foundation in the ground. Friday, when I'm picking them up from school, they're putting the roof, they're already got the roof on the house, and it's a 2-story home, wood frame. And it's just 5 guys. And they frame the whole house in a week. And it's bigger than any of those printed homes that are a shack. You get dumb investors, yeah. Well, if you want dumb investors, I'll just sell crypto. So we're going to integrate NFTs into 3D printing, right? So we're going to have the blockchain, and it's going to, the STLs, your STL is going to be a blockchain asset, okay? And it's going to be fungible. So your STL, once you print it, will be yours. You'll have full rights to that STL, and copy and paste will be disabled. So it's going to be fungible on the blockchain, but it's going to be in the metaverse as well. So when you print your object, it'll automatically be imported to the metaverse. And then, so what we do is we get gullible people to buy them, and we just hope you're not the one holding the bag when everything comes crashing down. I don't know what YouTube all of a sudden, I don't know what channel I watched, but for like 2 hours yesterday, YouTube did nothing but suggest like random crypto shit on my screen, on my homepage on YouTube. And I'm like, go away. I cannot stand crypto. A non-fungible physical object. Yeah. Can you invest in it? You can invest in it too. If you go to the links in the description, you can buy one of these Only Benchies hats. That means you are invested in the channel. Or you can just become a subscriber and I'll automatically send you an NFT. How's that? You watch? Oh God, please tell me that's not it. No, that wasn't even yesterday. I watched that one a while ago and I just skimmed through it. The NFT game that costs 1,600 bucks. Yeah, and it's worse than Flappy Birds. Fine with crypto. I think pretty much everything crypto is a scam, because none of them have actually made any real world use. Like the biggest use of crypto has been drug deals. Like every country that's like, oh, we're going to switch over to crypto, it makes no sense. NFTs are a complete joke. Monkey JPEGs are just idiots investing in money and stealing other people's money. And crypto is just shill coins now. It's just shill coins. You have no idea what an NFT is? Good. Okay, so imagine a picture. You don't own the picture, but that picture is associated with a string of numbers on a blockchain on a server somewhere. Okay? So you can buy that address that's associated with the picture, and you own it. It won't stand up in court, and it won't prevent anyone from right-click and saving the picture or print screen, but you own the picture and you spend 100,000 for it, and in 6 months it'll be worth 20 bucks. There you go. That's NFTs. Oh, and they look like really shitty monkey drawings. Really like the idea of crypto. Yeah, it's all a Ponzi scheme. You just don't want to be the guy holding the bag when it all comes crashing down. You're just trying to get people to buy in so you can cash out, so you're not the one holding the bag. That's crypto. Like, there are valid use cases. I think you can use it for like documents, like docu-signing type things. It makes a little sense, but pretty much every big implementation of it now is just a scam in some form, in my opinion. What NFTs can do, what a database can't. Exactly. People are like, oh, if I buy a skin in Counter-Strike, I'll be able to use that skin in Fortnite. No, you won't. Why? Why would you need crypto for that anyways? It would just be tied to an account. I still have my Minecraft skin from like 2012. It's a JPEG. I saved it on my hard drive. Also, you're going to get every company to develop their engines to be cross-compatible with assets from every other game company out there. Turn on. Remember when there was like a crypto island? They were going to have a crypto island. Yeah. Oh God, the Trump NFTs. And now you have AI just spitting out random images that you can use for whatever. The tulip bubble, exactly. It's the tulip bubble all over again. Virtual house in a game for 1 million. They are nuts. Oh, jeez. I mean, I sold stuff on World of Warcraft for a while ago, like ages ago. Well, that's Second Life. And here's the thing. Second Life did all its stuff well before crypto. There are real world use cases for crypto, but the thing is, it's never really made sense because you could do it through other methods as well. Also, thank you for screwing up graphics card prices for like ever now. Thank you for doing that. That was great. And thank you for increased energy costs because you turned a bunch of power into monkey JPEGs and numbers on the blockchain that do nothing except made some people really rich and made us all spend $1,000 on a mid-tier graphic card now. Remember when you bought the NVIDIA 8800 GT and it was the best graphics card ever and you paid $300 for it? Remember that? That was great. I want to spend $300 on a flagship tier graphics card. What about the artist Beeple that sold his? It's all Beeple's fault. He was the first one to cash out, and I don't blame him at all. I blame the dummies who paid $69 million for that and then got the ball rolling because now everyone thought they can make that. The thing is though, Beeple's art was art. He made that. Monkey JPEGs are not art. They're all just randomly generated images. At least Beeple's stuff was art. Hard drive prices. Yeah, it's stupid. I honestly, crypto should go bye-bye, and anyone who promotes it should know. Now you need a mortgage. I know, it's like, I got my 5700 XT. I bought that used because Buddy on the Discord was like, hey, I'm selling this. I'm like, you know what? I have a 1060. That's an upgrade. I'll buy it. I bought that March 2020. Before everything went to shit. Crypto prices have crashed. Good. Good. Let them burn. It's just not stable either. Like, how many people have lost everything because they invested in a coin that just all of a sudden wasn't worth anything? RJ, well, I've got a 5700 XT right now, and I've just spent a bunch on some other upgrades, plus I got a bunch of events that I've bought stuff for. So the budget isn't huge right now for computer upgrades, put it that way. We are working on a project at work to use it for chain of custody for hard drive. See, small disturbed child. That is I could see that being a valid use case. I've also heard using it for like document signing, for like online documents. That can also be a valid use of the blockchain. But the thing is that all the big projects for blockchain are all for-profit scams, pretty much. So there are valid use cases. It's just people gotta use them. 57. Yeah, I'm not having any issues with mine. My main monitor is 1080p. Although, considering I'm doing more video editing now and I'm editing in 4K, I'm starting to get a little squished feeling with my monitor. So I might go to like a 1440p in the next little while. I don't want to go 4K because driving a 4K monitor for gaming is a lot harder than a 1440p. So, asset tracking. Yeah, there are valid use cases. It's just all the use cases that most people see is just scams and monkey JPEGs. Monkey JPEGs. Okay, we got 5 minutes. Starting to get a little claustrophobic. It is because I use DaVinci, and DaVinci really only works on one monitor. So, but it's a 1080p 165 hertz. So I got that going for me, which is nice. 1440p widescreen is a sweet spot. So right now my current setup is I've got two 1080p 24 inches side by side. One's a high refresh rate that I use for gaming. And then above that, I have like I think it's like a 19 inch. It's like 1440p by like 900 or something. It's like a 16 inch or whatever. I have that mounted on the wall above those two monitors that I use. Half of it's Discord. The other half is my interface for like Mainsail. So I got all the cameras for all the printers on it. 14. Yeah, so that'll probably be like the next thing I do is upgrade that monitor just so I can, because I do all my own editing because I can't afford an editor. And let's be honest, if I've had people offer to edit for me, like, hey, can I edit a video for you? I'm like, do you want me to send you 3 hours of just me talking at a camera with a file of B-roll with like no script or anything, with no real idea on how to do it because I don't script anything? You want to turn that into a 10-minute video? It's like, no. My GTX 660 is still going strong. Oh, well, somebody reached out to me because this one right here, this is a 1060 on this one. Somebody had an old 1070, so that I'm gonna upgrade this one with the 1070, and then the 1060 will either go on the server or, because my wife's playing Harry Potter right now, and her GTX 960 with i5 2500K that's overclocked to 4.3 gigahertz is giving a valiant attempt to run the Harry Potter game on computer. But it's also running it at 768p because the 960 is completely maxed out on VRAM. Like you pull up the stats, it's like GPU usage 99%, GPU VRAM 99%, CPU 45. 1060 sucks. It's a 6 gig 1060 though, so it's actually pretty good. I used it up till 2 years ago when I swapped it for a 5700. Yeah, it's got 4 gigs of VRAM. I mean, if you guys want real good, you want to see cutting edge, this is why I'm doing all these computer upgrades now. So I'm realizing, considering my entire YouTube channel relies on my Unraid server for editing, because I store all my footage on that, it's probably a good idea to keep it up to date. So considering this is the specs of my Unraid server right now, yeah, it's getting upgraded in the next couple weeks. Oh, and for graphics, because I do use it for Plex, I have a 5770 1 gig. So basically this computer is going to be the Unraid server. Profile. So the problem is, Nurgle Rot, it's just, it's a 13-year-old motherboard. I'm worried about just a cap going on it at this point. Like, for what I use it for, even when I'm transferring, if I transfer a big fat file, yeah, I'm maxing out the CPU. But when I'm editing off of it, it actually is fine. I'm not, it's got gigabit Ethernet. It's fine when I'm editing. But the other day, the little guy was watching a video that I put on that was on Plex, and I tried to edit while a video was streaming off of it, and it was not working. Like, it just, no. So, only 2 4 terabyte drives? Yes. So I've got, it's got 3 4 terabyte drives, but one's a parity. And I actually have another 4 terabyte that I'm putting in there, so I'll have 12 terabytes. But I can't because I only have 4 SATA ports on that motherboard. The motherboard that will be going in there after I move everything around will have 6 though. So I'll have 12 terabytes of storage. You had a bad time. I did. But like, I realized the other day, and if you're wondering like how much storage I need, let me pull up here. So this is the video for tomorrow, including the final rendered video and all the raw footage, the A roll, the B roll, and the rendered video is 33 gigs of footage. So this is all my project files in there. Hello?
Hello.
You want to help Daddy do a giveaway?
And I'm ready.
I'm making Kirby's for you.
What a Kirby?
Yeah, we're doing Kirby We're doing Kirby, making a whole bunch of Kirby's. So I feel kind of dumb because my A6400, which records at 4K, I realized I've been recording the entire time at 60 megabit when I could record at 100 megabit for video quality. And I can also record it in, what is it, RAW? Or what is the video format that you record it in, and then you put a LUT on it? Where it's like the colors look really washed out, but then you can like put a LUT on it and it looks really good. Yeah, I haven't been doing that at all. I've been like recording basically whatever the default video settings are on an A6400. I've been recording at that. So I've been losing out on video quality for like the past like year and a half, 2 years, and I haven't even realized that. So yeah. Yeah, log. I can record and log on it, and I haven't been. So I gotta figure out how to record and log. I've already bumped it up to 30 FPS, 100 megabit, 4K.
What is that?
That is tape. And then I gotta figure out how to do LUTs in DaVinci. Okay, can you ask, what's your 2 favorite numbers?
4 and 5.
Okay, can I get a number between 4 and 5?
Yeah.
Can you ask them for a number between 4 and 5? Let's see, what does everyone say? Oh, they said 4. Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you push this button 4 times? Oh, nope, you spun the wheel. Okay, well, what we're gonna do is not look at that, and I'm gonna cancel it. So 1 second here. Okay. I had it on the wrong thing. Okay, can you click this button 4 times? Push right there 4 times. Count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then, ooh, what's that? Is that making noises? Okay. I don't know whose name that was, by the way. That was a completely person I've never seen before, so. Okay, now we gotta spin it. Can you click this again? Hey, Calvin. Is that interesting? What's it doing? Okay, can you click this one more time? What's it doing?
Spinning.
It's spinning? Okay. And our winner is... What is it?
What is that?
Who is that? Can you spell that name? Who is that? No, Kevin. Not Calvin. You're Calvin. Kevin Whitcomb. Yeah, say congratulations. There we go. Okay, congratulations, Kevin. You'll get an email from me after the stream ends on how to get your filament. Okay, so we're going to end the stream. Do you want me to make dinner for you? Yeah, are you hungry? Are you tired? You're tired. Okay. So we're going to end it there. I'll post a picture of this once it's done and I get it all cleaned up and whatnot. So we're going to end it there. So shout out to Anycubic for sending this printer over. If you want to know more about it or get one yourself, link in the description. Again, they sent me the printer. They didn't pay anything. Words and opinions are my own. I don't have to send it back. I get to keep it. And we'll do some more with resin stuff in the future. Video out tomorrow. 10 or 11. I gotta figure out what time I gotta put videos out. I gotta check the numbers. But if you are a YouTube member or a Patreon supporter, check the community pages for both. You can watch tomorrow's video today. It's the future. And also shout out to Polymaker for the spool filament we just gave away. Make sure you check them out, link in the description. For those that donate to the channel, become members of the channel, or gift memberships to others, I thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create without your continued support. So I thank you. Okay, time to make some dinner. Can you say goodbye?
Bye-bye.
Can you wave goodbye?
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Wash your hands. Oh yeah, and tomorrow is the 1 year on YouTube and Kill stream. So party!